Hi, this is how to get started with Pear Deck. First, you might be asked to make an account with Pear Deck. After you've made your account, you're going to copy the file shared with you to your Google Drive. It's important that you use a Google account because currently KSD doesn't support Pear Deck through PowerPoint. So we're going to make a copy to our Pear Deck. And in order to officially start a Pear Deck, what you have to do is click on Add-ons and then go to Pear Deck for Google Slides add-on and open the Pear Deck add-on. Once that starts, you're going to see a green button that says Start Lesson. You'll click on that button and you'll have a choice to make, student paced or instructor paced. You want to do instructor paced because this is a synchronous lesson. But if you have students who miss the lesson and want to find out what happened, you can also assign a student-paced activity later, and they'll be able to go through it themselves and still answer all of the questions. You're going to want to share this code with your students and have them go to joinpd.com. They can go on their phone or on their laptop, however you recommend them to do it. Alternatively, you can just give students a direct link by clicking on Give Students a Link. It will copy the link directly to your clipboard, and now if I post in the Teams chat and go to Control V or just right-click and paste, it will give them the link. They'll be asked to sign in. Have them sign in with their Microsoft account instead of a Google account, and this will let them use their KSD email address. This way you'll know exactly what students have joined and which students have not yet joined, and also know who's given what answer. I'm going to join my Pear Deck now so you can see more of what it looks like from the teacher side. I would also encourage you, while you'll have this screen shared with your students on Teams, I would encourage you to open the teacher dashboard. The teacher dashboard is a screen that only you can see. And so this is a screen that you might want to move over to a different browser or a different screen if you have two monitors. Alternatively, you can open this on your phone as well. On the teacher dashboard, you're able to see how many students have joined, their name and their email address. And then once you get started, you're going to also be able to see what answers they've given. You have control over this as well, and you can lock screens, which would prevent students from changing their answers. In the moment, if you decide that you want to ask students a new thing and have them respond, you can click on New Prompt, and there are a variety of things pre-made for you, such as true-false statements, a thumbs up or a thumbs down, or just having them write a simple response. If you have a Google slide where you forgot to add on a Pear Deck interactive activity, you can also do this here. So now I'm going to join my class as a student, and we can see what does it look like from the student side. So as a student, it's going to ask me to sign in to my Microsoft account. You will have to probably instruct students that your Microsoft account is their school email address. If they are using their school computer, it will likely already set them up and automatically log them in. Otherwise, if they are on their phone or a home computer, they're going to have to type it in themselves. All right, so now I am looking at what it looks like for a student. Some of your students might click the screen. So if they say, I can't type anything, I just see the PowerPoint slide, tell them to click the screen again, and that will shrink it. And then they'll be able to type in the answer box. So the question is, who are you and how are you doing? As soon as students start typing over on the teacher side, you're going to be able to look not on this screen, but on the dashboard. So on the dashboard, I can see it says, I'm Katrina and I'm doing great. And if I want to respond to what she's written, I can leave feedback. If I really like her response, and maybe I want to keep it in mind for sharing, I might star this response. Or if I find it inappropriate, I can hide the response as well. As a student, I see over on the bottom right-hand corner a little notification that tells me that I've gotten some feedback. And if I click on that, I'm going to see what my teacher has said, and I can mark it as read to get rid of that notification. Now, if I want to share what students have written, I can go to, first I would recommend lock screen. That way the students are no longer able to change their answers. And then if you go to show responses, the student is not going to be able to see on their screen the shown responses. It's only your screen that shows the responses. So you'll have to instruct them to look at the team screen so that they know that's where their attention needs to be, instead of their Pear Deck screen. On their Pear Deck screen, they will not see other students' responses. You'll also note that for the most part, unless they write their name, the students' responses are anonymous. So only you as a teacher know what the students have said. Everything else is anonymous. That's the ins and outs of Pear Deck. At the very end, you're going to want to click on End to end your Pear Deck, and I would recommend naming this something so that you remember it, such as HSB 1. So you know this is the first session of HSB. And then, if you ever return to Pear Deck, and you go to Sessions, you'll be able to see the last session you did, the HSB 1 session. If you want, this is a way that you can assign asynchronous work for students if they need to go through it themselves. Alternatively, this is a way that you can export to spreadsheet the replies, the written replies that students have done. For anything that's drawn or draggable, you will not see there were responses, but you will see that they at least interacted with it. If I want to view exactly what students drew or exactly where students put a draggable, then I have to reopen the session and again go to the teacher dashboard. It will have saved all of their responses and I'll be able to view it from there. So if I reopen the session again, and this time I'm just going to jump straight to the dashboard because I just want to look back at what students have written. Again, this is not the screen that you want to share with all students. You don't want all students to be able to see what everyone else is doing. But I can see from the dashboard right away that Katrina had written this response. And if I had gone down further and done other responses, I would have seen the other responses that she had done as well. So that's Pear Deck. I like Pear Deck a lot. I've used it in my classes since the closures in March, and I found it's a really good way to get interaction with your students and get a gauge on how well are they understanding what's going on in a way that doesn't require them to unmute themselves, which some students don't feel comfortable with or struggle to do because they are in a noisy environment and there's a lot of background noise, or their mics just don't work very well. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me.